Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi YouTube friends. 5 days post clearing our land. Land looks good. It's been exciting. Highs and lows. You guys have seen these two videos.
Today we are meeting with our contractor and our architect.
It's a not so fun day.
Yes. We've had a few talks and a few things came up and we have to go discuss the budget and why is it so hard and so on and so forth. So we have a lot to go through today.
We have a lot of grown-up stuff to do today.
Yes. A lot of adulting. So
yeah, we've been having issues, so it's just a contractor meeting. It's actually our official first one. You would think, why? The way that we got our contract was a little different. So because of this, we decided, you know what, we've had so many questions from you guys, from almost everybody that we meet on why are you guys doing this, how you do it, oh my gosh, it's so cool. But we want to make sure that we do our due diligence to educate you guys on maybe not the process, because everybody's process is different, but our process of how we have been going about building our home. So we want to give you guys tips and advice on how to build a shipping container home
and some of the things to avoid that we ran into.
Yeah, and then how to choose a contractor and an architect to build your home. Okay, so tip number one, you have to have some sort of an idea as to what you want to spend on your home. And that sounds like, oh yeah, we all know that. No, because shipping container homes, especially right now during COVID, shipping container homes, building and buying homes has gone through the market roof. I mean, it's a little crazy. So a shipping container home can literally cost you, if you do it yourself, probably about $30,000 for a single container if you and your husband decide to just go for it, versus what we're going through that can skyrocket, you know, a multi-container home of 2,600 square feet like we're trying to do can probably run you upwards of $400,000. So you have to have an idea of what you want to spend. Also, if you're going to do like we did, which is buy land to put your container home, that's also part of your budget. Are you going to wrap that into your loan? Do you have it separate? I'm really hoping for your sake that you already have land, or you know, your family has land and lots of acreage that you could just drop a couple of containers and cut out a cost right there. If you don't have that, like we didn't, and you have to now look into the real estate market, so just have that in mind. Okay, what is your budget overall? So if your max budget that you want to have get financed for a loan.
So just to keep it simple, if say you want to have a monthly payment for the next 30 years, just multiply that by 30. That gives you what your payment would be roughly before interest. Once you're in that ballpark figure, say that number came up to 300,000, now you know what you're working with. So if you have land already, then that 300,000 can go toward your house. But if you don't, you have to subtract some of that for the land and then the building of the home.
Bobby's better with finances than I am, and the, you know, and math.
Yes. So at the end of the day, if you're working with a $300,000 total all-in budget, you have to now say, let's subtract 20% for whatever happens, and you can go to your contractor with your low-end budget amount. You don't want to go to him with your max budget, because then you have no leeway, no contingency. If something happens, or you know, price of material goes up like
now,
what we're going through for COVID, you need that extra buffer.
So you have it in your mind. You now have a budget. You have to do your due diligence and just start doing research on how and what things cost. So you have it in your mind, this is how much to build your house, but have you taken into consideration the market right now? Lumber has gone up, everything has gone up. So even though you may have it in your mind that you want to spend $200K on your house, it may not even be feasible. So do your research, just start asking questions from your contractors as to how much things cost. And even if you just go in to tile places and just find out how much things cost, so that you kind of can piece things together.
How to find your contractors, how to find your architects.
Specifically shipping container home contractors and architects.
Specifically.
So when we started this and we had this idea a year and a half ago, unfortunately we were not able to find, it was very limited in finding contractors and architects with experience and knowledge doing a shipping container home. A lot of them say they do, but then you start asking questions and they really don't. So now I will say, you guys just do your research, just try to educate yourself, jump on Facebook. Social media has taken over the world now. Jump on Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of groups now, shipping container home groups, that you can find licensed and contracted shipping container home contractors. So that there in itself is going to eliminate a lot of questions and wondering why, who, how do I do this?
This general contractor should have some knowledge on steel buildings. He may not have to be a container home builder, but at least have knowledge on steel buildings and how to work with them and put them together and make your house.
Fabrications.
The second tip is find a contractor first. Get him to give you a soft preliminary quote. Okay, this is how much square feet I'm thinking of. This is around the budget I'm looking for. And some of the ideas of the things you want in the house. Like you want a metal roof, you want a shingle roof, you want tile and not wood on the floor, you want X-nay kitchen, right?
You want glass doors and
you want
all the
huge
cutouts.
windows, you want an economic house, whatever the case might be. So do that part first, and once you have that quote, you can now go to your architect once you found him and everything is good.
Again, you've done your research, checking their website, checking their referrals, seeing some of their past builds to make sure that they know what they are talking about.
Right. Once you do that, then you will have him draw you up something. He's gonna draw up some preliminary plans, and then you guys are going to go back and forth every day or so and finalize what you want the house to really look like. Once you've settled on that and you think you're happy with it, you're going to go back to your contractor with those blueprints. Once you go to your contractor with those blueprints, he's then going to finalize the numbers. He's gonna go contact his people and get quotes from all his vendors and all that good stuff and give you a final price, and then and there you may get a contract to sign with him, saying that we will build a house for X amount of dollars.
Hopefully you get a contract to give you a good price, because
with that, you're going to have an itemized breakdown. You look at it.
Ask them for an itemized breakdown. Yeah.
So you look at that and you say, well, this is where all the cost in lumber is and blah blah blah, and then you get down to his overhead. Now the overhead usually includes what the contractor will take as his profit, plus other things like putting down the bathroom stalls for his employees so that they can work per law. And you have things like getting a dumpster and all that. That's overhead costs.
Right.
So once he gives you that contract, that is what you need to go to the bank to say, this is how much money I need to borrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Give it to us.
right? So the bank is gonna say, all right, this is the contractor. Let's go ahead and vet him, see if he is a general licensed and insured contractor. Once he's vetted and everything looks good, they're going to do estimates on what the house should be worth when it's done. They're going to do a whole bunch of things with money and checking your credit and blah blah blah. And once they do all that, they're gonna say, all right, we can do it, you're approved for the loan.
So
If you're approved for the loan, then is when the hard part comes in. The contractor is gonna come back and say, okay, and take over the job. Basically, he's going to go and deal with the bank directly. All the money goes to the contractor, it doesn't come to you, by the way. So
Yeah. you don't get money.
you don't get paid by the bank. The bank is making
Yep.
sure the contractor builds the house, because they want to guarantee that the house is going to be built, and you don't take the money and do whatever you want with it.
They're looking out for their best interests and our best interests. Number one, making sure that the contractors send their quotes in per phases. So phase one, buying land, clearing land, site work, prep work for the house. So they have the contractors send in all of the quotes to do all those things, and then they release the money to the contractor for that phase. And that's every phase. So they're protecting you, that your contractor doesn't run away with your money, but also that you don't run away with your money.
With their money.
With their money.
So
Yeah.
once the bank has approved everything, the contractor is going to try and get all your permits. Now, once the contractor puts in all the permitting, it's really up to the county at that point to check everything. They're going to check blueprints, they're going to check so on and so forth.
So I'm going to side note here that when you're doing your research on your architect, you want to try to make sure and find a local architect, or at least somebody who's very knowledgeable about the municipalities and the different counties and their restrictions and their coding, and because they're the ones, those structural blueprints are going to be sent into the county for permitting. So you want to make sure that your architect is knowledgeable about those things, because they're the ones who have to go back and forth with the county as to all the questions they may have, all the adjustments, how high is your house going to be, elevation. So that's my side note, that making sure your architects and your contractor as well know what they're talking about. So also another side note, a lot of people are getting caught into this, or trapped up into this, order on Amazon or from China a shipping container home that comes already done. We've looked into it as well, but it's not permitted. The county is going to come and say, hey, where's the blueprints for this? I have nothing on the books for you guys to have this here. You have to take it down. You've just wasted $30,000. So just, nothing is free.
Basically, your architect should be knowledgeable of the permitting process and the codes, so that you're not back and forth between the county and the architect all the time, resubmitting the drawings to fix things.
Yeah.
Because that just pushes things even longer. So instead of your permit process being maybe a week, now it's 4 months, because you're back and forth with...
Ours was 2.5.
It was 4 months.
Ours was pretty much 4 months.
So you don't want to have that long lag. So your best bet is to have an architect that is knowledgeable. Once the permitting process is done, then the contractor is completely, it's all up to him. He has to get the house done. He'll do the foundation, he'll lay all the bricks, he'll get all his vendors to come in and subcontractors to come in and do everything. And the process is pretty quick after that. So tip 1, you will have, well, not tip 1, but
tip 25,
tip whatever, you will have a million fees, hidden fees,
yes,
that you do not account for. One of them that we ran into that we never knew existed, and after doing the research, it's kind of foolish, but it is what it is. It's called an impact fee. In order to get your permits approved and finalized, you have to pay this impact fee. Now the impact fee is based on the square footage of your home, and it can range anywhere from $6,000 to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Yeah.
So
and you just don't know. They evaluate everything and then they send it to your contractor.
After they evaluate it and put that fee on there, that's when it shows up. So you have to kind of budget for that also.
And we say they being the county, whatever county you live in, who are running your permits and stuff. For us, you know, we're in the Orlando area, so they're the ones that will assess and send it to your contractor. So ours was a lot.
It threw us off.
Oh yeah. So this is why we're having this meeting, because this impact fee came out of nowhere. It is not in our budget. In addition to every quote is now doubling, our budget has,
besides the cost of material, the budget is out of whack because of all these hidden fees.
Yeah.
You're also going to be hit with other little fees that you didn't even think about, like the city requires you to have utilities hooked up before you can even get the permits. So that's another few $1,000s you didn't think of. Or there's other little fees in between in the permitting process, like a change fee, an expedite fee, a this fee,
a boring test fee.
A boring test for soil. You have to check.
It's a soil test.
Yes, you have to check your soil to make sure you can even build a house, and that's another fee.
And it's required. They will not check they won't even check your package until you do that.
Yes. Sometimes you'll have things like, because the soil tests came back a certain way, now you have to get a civil engineer to do, septic, or to do this foundational, all kinds of stuff, and then you have to pay the civil engineer an extra fee to do all his paperwork and drawings and blah blah blah. So keep in mind, these are things that come up, and that's why you have that leeway in the budget to help cover some of these things.
Contingency budget is very, very key. It's something we don't have.
It's extremely important to have.
That's why we're trying to lead you guys in the right way.
So just keep in mind things like that. That's the general process that we've now figured out is the right way after doing it the wrong way.
Again, for you guys that are going to get financed, this is the process that we've taken, the mistakes we've gone through, still going through, because it's a process. But yeah, we wish you guys luck. I hope we did not overwhelm you. It has been overwhelming, but we just wanted to make sure and document everything, and not just, YouTube has a way of selling these shipping containers. We got caught in it, and most of the world is caught up in it. It works out really well if you have your own land and you are sort of building off the grid on the down low, or if you are building outside of the US. We're both from the islands where you don't have to do these things. So it works out really well if you don't have to go through all of this stuff. That's very, very it's very frustrating.
Yeah, what we've come to realize after all of this is, if you build with fewer containers, it's budgetarily beneficial. If you build with a lot of containers, it may not work out in your benefit. So just keep that in mind. If you do like a 1 or 2 container build and you fill the voids with other materials, it's usually cheaper than if you do all containers, like 11 containers, like we decided to do, like crazy people.
Yes. Anyway, so good luck, guys. I know you will have more questions after this video. We are happy to answer them for you. This is only video number 3. We would love to walk you guys. We sort of walked you through the house idea on the land, but we want to show you our blueprints. Bobby actually designed our house, and then he took it to the architect and said, this is what we want, and the architect then did the actual structural to make sure that what he had in his mind is exactly going to be permitted. So we want to walk you guys through that as well, because it's very important. To see you on the next one. Still wish us luck. Pray for us. Bye.